I'm indeed from the Dependable Compute System group within the University of Twente, which is a university in the Netherlands, in the east of the Netherlands, and I'm presenting here the work which our group is doing there, which I will do by the hand of a methodology we have been developing the last couple of years. But before, as you all know, RISC-V is moving, it's advancing, it's moving fast. Nothing is really static yet. I made this graph, which are the releases of the RISC-V ISA on their GitHub page, which is in the last year about almost a new release every day. So this means that we need to also ensure, especially if we talk about space, ensure that the reliability of implementations and changes within this ISA, but mostly implementations, is actually sound. So that's why we have been developing a test and loop methodology, where we explicitly include beam experiments, and in the next couple of slides I will go to every of these different steps and explain them a bit. So starting by the first step, designing. We work with multiple different RISC-V cores, some more than others. And what we do as a group is we design hardware and software frameworks tailored towards increasing the reliability or security of systems. So a couple of examples are listed here. A dependable execution environment is trusted execution environment, but with some reliability features added. Probabilistic data structure instruction checker, which can be complement or alternative to ECC on your instruction memory. Performance counters for security and reliability. Very fine-grained anomaly detection in your system, and delay detection methods, which is a method we are trying to develop or we're developing, which can detect delays, sub-clock cycle delays in your system, which is all related to something which was also mentioned this morning about this delay AVF. And as I just mentioned, we do both software, hardware. So the first one is mostly pure software, hardware. The third one is co-design between software and hardware, and the latter one is for now mostly hardware. And if we want to evaluate the reliability of this, so the security and the reliability of these products. And in this methodology, we assume that you first do behavioral validation of your system. But if that's all right, I will start with the security side, which is depicted in the bottom. We do some sidechain analysis with the ChipVista platform, and also a platform we are developing in-house to validate security, to do leakage assessments. And something else not mentioned here, we have some activities on clock glitching. Now on the reliability side, on the bench we do emulation-based fault injection, where we can target different platforms, which is very nice, because through fault injection we can actually get an understanding of how our device behaves under faults, contrary to beam experiments, where we can actually understand how the device behaves in the radiation. So with fault injection we can see how errors propagate to our system, how our system can actually handle these errors and such, and validate that our system is actually working. So like I mentioned, the other step is beam tests, because when we talk about the reliability in space, beam tests are I think a requirement, because real, as it's also depicted here, real beams gives real results. We do some experiments at ChipIR in the UK, where we do neutron beam testing. We have tests at Holland PTC, which is, well, as the name suggests, in Holland, in the Netherlands, where we do proton testing, and we evaluate our designs on flash-based FPGAs, but I will come to that later. So before I will go to the fourth step about validating, first a quick reminder or a refresher on actually single event effects. Right, as you all know, we're dealing with radiation, and this radiation is targeting the physical level of our system, and this these effects actually go into these effects propagate towards different layers until it reaches our system level. So ionizing radiation creates software errors, hard errors. We focus only on soft errors. Circuit level creates transients and single event upsets, which might or might not be captured into our data bits. And only now this becomes interesting for our system level, because it can create single event functional interrupts, silent data eruptions, detectable unrecoverable errors, which is effects that we can either detect and correct, or this creates a crash in our system. Now, there's a lot of abbreviations on the slide, but what I would like you to understand is that indeed we are dealing with effects which are interacting at a lower level, but we are designing systems at a much higher level, and that is the design we want to change. That is the design we want to get an understanding of. That's what you need to know, and this is the same information but depicted differently. And what you see, that some of these errors are implementation influenced and some are application influenced. And once again, this application is actually the thing we are interested in testing. So this brings us to the fourth step. We are designing programs, we are designing hardware, IPs, microarchitecture, and those are the things we want to get insight on from our experiments. But if we are doing fault injection, we can only get some insights into the AVF or into the system vulnerability. And if we're doing beam experiments, we can only get some insight into the whole platform. So at our final step, in our validation step, we are making a correlation between all these different activities we do, correlate them together, and such that we can actually get an insight into the program or the microarchitecture we want to improve and make more reliable. During our tests, we make use of a fixture, and on the left side you see the device under test in the green blocks, which is surrounded by a lot of supporting hardware. And this is also where our fault injection, the fact that we are using flash-based FPGAs, because we don't want to observe any upset in the configuration memory of our FPGAs. No, we want to observe the upsets in our user bits. So all supporting hardware around it we protect, such that we can only observe errors, such that we will only observe errors in our design unit test. And the same goes for the software, but some pictures of how we set up this fixture in reality. The carrier board with the custom board is being manufactured as we speak. Some work we have done and which we can already share with you as a community is a support library which we use during our beam experiments. Well, once again, our methodology, and I would like to close with this slide by first thanking actually the ESA Academy for sponsoring us, and also advertising the poster of one of our students, which is hanging beside. Thank you.